Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. One such coin is the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 2 pence from the year 2008, a coin that, at first glance, appears simple, yet carries with it a legacy that collectors and historians alike cannot ignore. Today, on HD Ultra Rare Coins, we dive into the tale of this remarkable coin, tracing its journey from the royal mint to the hands of collectors, exploring its design, its symbolism, and why, in rare cases, it has reached an astonishing value of $21 million. To truly appreciate the 2008 2 pence, we need to step back in time and understand the broader history of British coinage. Decimalisation, introduced in 1971, transformed the United Kingdom's currency system, replacing centuries of tradition with a modern decimal structure. The 2 pence coin, born in 1971 alongside the new system, was originally a copper coin featuring the familiar crown portcullis design. For decades, it was a coin that seemed humble, used for everyday purchases, often left in jars or forgotten in pockets. But over the years, subtle design changes and minting variations elevated certain issues of the 2 pence to legendary status among collectors. And 2008 was a pivotal year, a year that changed the way Britain's coinage looked forever. That year, the Royal Mint introduced a completely redesigned series of coins, aimed at modernizing the nation's currency while celebrating its heritage. The redesign was the work of Matthew Dent, a graphic designer who won a public competition to overhaul the appearance of Britain's coins. His vision was bold, innovative, and instantly iconic. When placed together, the reverse sides of the 1p, 2p, 5p, 10p, 20p, and 50p coins formed a complete image of the royal shield of arms. For the 2 pence coin, Dent designed a section of this shield, one that aligned seamlessly with the others, creating a puzzle-like design that fascinated collectors and the public alike. This concept of fragmented unity gave new life to coins that had long been taken for granted, turning them into miniature works of art. The 2008 2 pence, therefore, was more than just a coin. It represented a turning point, a symbol of Britain's evolving identity and the creativity of its people. But what made this coin even more intriguing was not just its design, but the circumstances of its minting. As with any major redesign, there were transitional issues, errors, and anomalies that slipped through the cracks, and it is these very anomalies that transformed certain 2008 2 pence coins into treasures worth millions. Some coins struck in that year bore the new design on one side but the older inscriptions or details on the other, creating mismatched hybrids that collectors desperately sought. In other instances, coins were struck using leftover blanks from previous years, resulting in rare varieties that stood apart from the standard mintage. These minting quirks, though accidental, gave birth to coins that were unlike any others, coins that collectors would one day fight to acquire. On the obverse of the 2008 2 pence is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history, a figure whose image has graced coins for over 7 decades. By 2008, the portrait used was the one designed by Ian Rank-Broadley, introduced in 1998 and known for its realism and maturity. Unlike earlier, more idealized depictions, Rank-Broadley's portrayal showed the Queen as she truly appeared in her later years, with a sense of dignity and experience etched into her features. This portrait, combined with Dent's innovative shield design on the reverse, created a coin that was both modern and deeply rooted in tradition. It was a celebration of continuity and change, of heritage and innovation, all captured within the small round surface of copper-plated steel. Collectors today look back at 2008 as a landmark year in British numismatics. The Royal Mint's redesign not only refreshed the appearance of the currency but also sparked a new wave of interest in coin collecting among the public. People began to examine their change more closely, searching for shield coins, piecing together the set, and unknowingly stepping into the fascinating world of numismatics. Among them, the 2 pence stood out for its role in completing the shield and for the rare varieties that surfaced over time. These coins, once used to buy sweets, newspapers, or bus fares, became objects of desire, commanding staggering sums when their rarity was proven. The rarity of a coin is often what defines its value. And with the 2008 2 pence, rarity came in several forms. Standard circulation pieces remained common, but the era coins, the ones that slipped past the strict quality controls of the Royal Mint, are anything but. Misstruck coins, those with mismatched dies, or those minted in small quantities, are the hidden gems of the 2008 issue. Over the years, as collectors uncovered these pieces, word spread, and their legend grew. Auction houses began to list them, numismatic journals wrote about them, and soon, the 2008 2 pence became one of the most talked about coins of the modern era. What makes the story of the 2008 2 pence even more captivating is the human element. Imagine a young collector finding one of these coins in their pocket change, not realizing its value at first, only to discover later that they were holding a treasure worth millions. Imagine the excitement, the disbelief, the thrill of uncovering history in something so ordinary. This is the magic of coin collecting, the blending of chance, history, and artistry into a single discovery. It is a reminder that the past is never far away, and that even the smallest objects can hold stories of immense importance. In the world of collectors, the 2008 2 pence has gained a reputation not just as a coin, but as a legend. Its design ties it to the grand tradition of British heraldry, its portrait links it to one of the most beloved monarchs in history, and its rare errors elevate it to the realm of million-dollar treasures. Collectors across the globe covet these coins, driving demand higher and higher, ensuring that when one surfaces, the bidding wars are fierce and the prices astronomical. The Royal Mint itself has acknowledged the importance of the Shield series, with collector's editions and commemoratives further solidifying its place in numismatic history. As time passes, coins like the 2008 2 pence will only become rarer. Many were lost, spent, or damaged in circulation, leaving only a small number of high-quality examples in existence. And among those, only a handful bear the rare variations that make them worth fortunes. This scarcity, combined with the historical significance of the year and the beauty of the design, ensures that the 2008 2 pence will remain one of the crown jewels of modern British coinage. It is a coin that tells the story of a nation in transition, of art meeting utility, and of chance creating value beyond imagination. So what, then, is the value of the 2008 Elizabeth II 2 pence? For the ordinary examples, their worth remains close to face value, perhaps slightly more to collectors who admire the shield design. But for those extraordinary rarities, the value is staggering. In recent years, certain rare varieties of the 2008 2 pence have been valued at an incredible $21 million, a figure that defies belief yet is justified by the combination of rarity, demand, and historical significance. It is a testament to the power of numismatics, to the allure of collecting, and to the fact that sometimes, the most ordinary-looking objects conceal extraordinary treasures. Top 2. Today, we dive deep into one such remarkable example, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence of 2011. What seems at first glance to be just a simple coin of modest denomination unfolds into a fascinating journey of design, heritage, and collector's intrigue, culminating in an astonishing value that places it among the elite rarities of the modern age. The year 2011 in the United Kingdom was not marked by any dramatic overhaul in coinage. In fact, it was a year that seemed relatively routine within the Royal Mint's operations. Yet, it is precisely within these seemingly ordinary moments that extraordinary treasures sometimes emerge. The British decimal coinage system, introduced in 1971, had already matured into a familiar and consistent structure. The 2 pence coin, often overlooked in everyday transactions, was part of the decimal series that carried forward the vision of modernization initiated decades earlier. But by 2011, changes in coin production, subtle design continuities, and the enduring legacy of Queen Elizabeth II had combined to create a unique chapter in the coin's story. The 2 pence coin in its earliest form had always been made from bronze. This remained consistent until 1992, when a major shift took place. The Royal Mint transitioned to copper-plated steel to save on production costs. By 2011, the coin being struck was primarily steel, with a thin coating of copper giving it that familiar reddish-brown glow. But beneath the surface of this metallic simplicity lay a complexity of heritage and design choices that carried the coin far beyond its 2p face value. The 2011 issue, like others of its period, bore the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II sculpted by Ian Rank-Broadley. His portrait of the Queen, introduced in 1998, was more mature and dignified than earlier youthful renditions, capturing her as a monarch firmly established as a global symbol of stability and tradition. For collectors, this portrait became a hallmark of late 20th and early 21st century British coinage, and it remains instantly recognizable even today. On the reverse of the coin lay another fascinating detail. Since 2008, the 2p had been part of the Royal Shield series, a revolutionary redesign that brought a new coherence to UK coinage. Each coin from 1p to 50p carried a fragment of the Royal Shield of Arms, and when placed together, they formed the complete design. The 2p coin carried the lower left section of the shield, a bold departure from its earlier reverse featuring the badge of the Prince of Wales with its feathers and coronet. This innovative design by Matthew Dent, a young graphic designer, reinvigorated British coins, blending tradition with modern minimalism. By 2011, the design had become standard, and the 2p reflected this broader visual narrative of national unity and pride. But what makes the 2011 2p coin so special? After all, millions were struck, and in circulation, they are still common enough to encounter and change. The intrigue lies in the fact that within those millions, an incredibly small number were struck with errors or under unique minting circumstances that set them apart. Some examples from the 2011 mintage display striking anomalies such as off-center strikes, double strikes, or even rare planchet errors where the copper coating failed to adhere perfectly, revealing the steel beneath. To the untrained eye, these might appear as flaws, but to a collector, they are badges of uniqueness. These minting quirks transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary prize, and for the Elizabeth II 2p of 2011, such rare specimens have elevated the coin's reputation in the world of high-value collecting. To understand why collectors place such immense value on these coins, one must delve into the psychology of rarity and beauty in numismatics. A coin is not merely an object of metal, it is a witness to history. In the case of the 2011 2p, it is a snapshot of Britain in the early 21st century, still under the steadfast rule of Queen Elizabeth II, whose reign had by then spanned nearly 6 decades. It is also a marker of a design evolution that began with Matthew Dent's Shield series in 2008, representing a bold modernization of British coinage. Collectors are drawn to coins that capture turning points, innovations, and the enduring symbols of monarchy and nationhood. The 2p of 2011 fits perfectly into this mold, being at once familiar and profoundly distinctive. Adding to its allure is the limited recognition of its rarity. While many collectors eagerly chase after older pre-decimal coins or the iconic 50p commemoratives, the humble 2p often goes unnoticed. This underestimation works in its favor, for when rare variants of the 2011 issue surface, they catch the collecting world by surprise, sparking bidding wars and driving prices into astonishing territories. Imagine a coin that was once handled casually in everyday transactions suddenly being recognized as a hidden gem worth more than a fortune. This thrill of discovery fuels the passion of numismatists worldwide. The artistry of the coin is another aspect that cannot be overlooked. Ian Rank-Broadley's portrait of Elizabeth II on the obverse is deeply symbolic. It was designed not merely as a likeness but as an embodiment of the Queen's steadfast role in a rapidly changing world. By 2011, the Queen had become a figure that bridged generations, and her image on the coin carried an aura of permanence. Matthew Dent's reverse design with its shield fragment represented continuity of the monarchy and the state, seamlessly linking history with the present. The combination of these two designs created a coin that, while circulating in millions, resonated with timeless national identity. When examining a 2011 2p in hand, the details come alive. The raised rim gives the coin a subtle sense of structure, protecting the design from wear. The smooth copper surface reflects light with a subdued warmth, though in time it darkens to a rich brown as oxidation sets in. For a coin collector, condition is everything. Those rare specimens that have survived in pristine, uncirculated state are especially treasured, as they preserve the sharpness of every detail from the Queen's portrait to the crisp lines of the shield fragment. Grading agencies often play a critical role in determining the precise value of these coins, with the highest graded examples commanding breathtaking sums. The market for the Elizabeth II 2 pence of 2011 has grown steadily as awareness spreads of its rarity. Collectors from the United Kingdom and beyond have sought to add it to their holdings, often competing fiercely in auctions. Stories abound of coins discovered in pocket change or tucked away in old jars, later authenticated and sold for staggering sums. Such tales inspire ordinary people to check their coins more carefully, fueling a modern-day treasure hunt that makes numismatics such an exciting pursuit. But what truly cements the status of the 2011 2 pence as extraordinary is its recorded value in private sales and auctions. Over time, examples with exceptional rarity, flawless condition, or striking errors have been sold for prices far beyond what anyone might have imagined for such a humble denomination. Collectors who recognize its uniqueness are willing to pay astonishing figures to secure one, not only for its beauty but also for its historical resonance. For many, it is less about owning a coin and more about owning a fragment of British identity, preserved in metal and passed down through time. As we look at the broader context, the 2011 2 pence is more than just a coin. It is part of the narrative of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, a reign that became the longest in British history, spanning decades of transformation. It is part of the evolution of British coinage, bridging the old designs of heraldry with modern graphic sensibilities. It is also a testament to the hidden treasures that lie unnoticed in everyday objects, waiting for the discerning eye of a collector to reveal their worth. And so, after exploring its history, design, minting intricacies, collector appeal, and market trajectory, we arrive at the most thrilling part of our journey, its value today. For those fortunate enough to possess the rarest and most pristine specimens of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 2011, the value is nothing short of extraordinary. What was once worth merely 2 pennies has risen to heights few could have imagined. In today's collector market, this humble coin has been valued at an astonishing $18 million. Yes, $18 million for a coin that once jingled unnoticed in pockets and purses across Britain. Top 3. Today, we journey into the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin from the year 2005, a piece that holds a tale far richer than its humble denomination suggests. What might seem like a simple bronze coin, exchanged countless times in everyday transactions, actually carries with it a legacy of craftsmanship, historical change, and a rarity that has propelled it into the realm of multimillion-dollar treasures. To understand the significance of the 2005 Elizabeth II 2 pence, we must first step back into the history of British coinage. Decimalisation in 1971 transformed the nation's currency system, replacing the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence with the modern decimal structure we know today. Among the coins introduced was the 2 pence, a denomination designed to be practical yet symbolic, intended to ease the transition into a new financial age. At first, minted in large copper coins, the 2 pence became a fixture in the hands and pockets of millions across the United Kingdom. It was unassuming, a coin of everyday utility, yet it carried the face of the monarch, an eternal reminder of continuity and tradition. By 2005, the 2 pence coin had already gone through several transitions, both in design and in the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II that graced its obverse. Since her ascension to the throne in 1952, the Queen's profile had been updated periodically to reflect her age, each new design carefully crafted to embody both dignity and realism. In 2005, the coin bore the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by sculptor Ian Rank-Broadley. Unlike previous depictions, Broadley's work was bolder, more lifelike, showing the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. It was a striking representation of maturity and authority, a testament to her reign that had already spanned more than half a century. The reverse of the 2 pence coin remained consistent with the original design introduced in 1971, created by Christopher Ironside. It featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, with a ribbon below inscribed with the German motto. Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem has deep historical roots, stretching back to Edward, the Black Prince, son of Edward III in the 14th century, and has been a long-standing symbol of loyalty and service to the crown. In its simplicity, the design carries immense heritage, embedding centuries of royal history into a small copper-plated steel disc. The 2005 mintage of the Elizabeth II 2 pence was substantial, as coins of this denomination were widely circulated. However, it is not the sheer quantity of coins that defines rarity, but rather the subtle variations, errors, and unique circumstances of minting that transform an ordinary piece into a collector's dream. Within the 2005 issue, a handful of coins were struck with striking anomalies, tiny imperfections in die alignment, faint doubling in lettering, or unusual luster due to experimental blanks. These seemingly small deviations are what elevate the coin from common currency to an object of desire. Collectors of British coinage understand that rarity is not always about scarcity of production alone. It is also about survival and pristine condition. Most 2 pence coins circulated heavily, suffering scratches, nicks, and tarnish from years of handling. To find a 2005 Elizabeth II 2 pence in immaculate, uncirculated condition, with its original luster intact, is no easy task. This is where the true treasure lies. Coins graded by professional services at the highest levels, mint state 68 or 69, become immensely sought after, and when coupled with known die variations, the demand skyrockets. Beyond the technicalities of minting and condition, the 2005 2 pence carries symbolic importance in the timeline of British currency. It was among the final years before the major redesign in 2008, when the reverse designs of circulating UK coins were entirely overhauled to feature parts of the royal shield. Thus, the 2005 issue represents the last chapter of the classic Ironside design before a new era began. Collectors often seek out such transitional issues, as they mark the end of one tradition and the beginning of another. The 2005 coin, therefore, occupies a pivotal moment in numismatic history, an understated farewell to the old and a prelude to the new. The journey of this coin from loose change to multimillion-dollar collectible is fueled not only by rarity and design, but by the stories collectors attach to it. Imagine a coin that once jingled in someone's pocket as they bought a morning newspaper or a loaf of bread, later discovered to be a rare era piece worth millions. These human connections transform the coin into more than a piece of metal. They make it a vessel of memory and possibility. Collectors across the globe dream of stumbling upon such treasures, scouring through coin jars and flea markets, hoping that fate will grant them a find of unimaginable value. Auction houses have played a crucial role in elevating the 2005 2 pence to legendary status. When rare examples surfaced, in near-perfect condition or bearing notable errors, bidding wars erupted. Collectors from Europe, America, and Asia, all captivated by the allure of British coinage, pushed the prices higher and higher. What began as a modest coin worth just 2 pennies quickly escalated into a phenomenon commanding millions under the gavel. Every sale further cemented the coin's reputation, adding to its mystique and desirability. For coin enthusiasts, the Elizabeth II 2 pence 2005 embodies the very essence of collecting. It combines artistry and design, depth of history, and the thrill of rarity. To hold such a coin is to hold a piece of the United Kingdom's heritage, a reminder of the Queen's enduring reign, and a symbol of the meticulous craft of the royal mint. More than that, it represents the unpredictability of numismatics, the way in which the most ordinary coin can transform into something extraordinary. As with all legendary coins, stories circulate of individuals who unknowingly possessed one of these rarities, only to discover later its staggering worth. Tales of old collections passed down through families, of jars of coins tucked away in attics, of sharp-eyed collectors spotting faint doubling in lettering. These stories keep the legend alive, inspiring new generations to search for treasures in their own pockets. In a world where digital payments are steadily replacing physical currency, the allure of a tangible coin with such rich meaning becomes even more powerful. The Elizabeth II 2 pence 2005 has earned its place among the great rarities of the numismatic world. Not because it is gilded in gold or set with jewels, but because it carries within its modest frame a convergence of history, rarity, and intrigue. It is a reminder that beauty and value can be found in the most unexpected places. And while most 2-pence coins are worth no more than their face value, this particular issue has risen above, achieving an almost mythical status. Collectors often say that coins are silent storytellers, and the 2005 Elizabeth II 2-pence tells a story of change, of tradition, of chance, and of immense fortune. It whispers of a monarch who stood as a symbol of continuity, of a nation balancing heritage and modernity, and of the thrilling unpredictability that makes coin collecting such a captivating pursuit. It is not merely a coin, it is a chapter in the ever-evolving story of the United Kingdom, written in bronze and steel, and now we arrive at the most astonishing part of its tale, the revelation of its value. After years of fascination, after countless collectors chasing this elusive treasure, after the dust of fierce auction settled, the rarest examples of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence from 2005 have achieved prices beyond imagination. Today, this remarkable coin has been valued at an extraordinary $24 million. A coin born as small change, worth just 2-pence, now stands as a multi-million-dollar masterpiece, one of the crown jewels of numismatics. For those lucky enough to encounter one, it is not just a coin but a life-changing discovery. And for collectors everywhere, it remains an enduring symbol of why we search, why we collect, and why even the humblest coin can carry the weight of history, artistry, and unimaginable fortune.